The eldest of seven children, he had four brothers and three sisters. His parents, Andrew and Janet Wilson, instilled in him strong faith in God and qualities of kindness and leadership. He was raised on a farm in the Highlands of Scotland, knowing God's word and God's love. His earliest and perhaps strongest influence was at a very young age when he would listen to his grandfather sing the 23rd Psalm. As a child, Wilson was called the priest by his schoolmates. He was a modest, devout, affectionate, and gentle boy, always ready to take part with the weakest and never quarrel. He was a diligent and persevering student. John went to the University of Edinburgh for further studies. Here he mastered philosophy, theology, and also began to study the languages like Hebrew, Greek, Latin, Persian. Then he learned about India and resolved to spend the rest of his life serving the people of India. While studying, he also learned Gujarati, Marathi, Hindi, Arabic, Sanskrit, Urdu, and Zen. He was a multilingual as he knew altogether 14 languages. Before his 20th birthday, he made a commitment to serve God. He wrote in his words, "This day I have completed my 20th year. God, teach me to improve the fleeting moments of my existence. As bought with a price the precious blood of Christ, I devote myself for your glory." Jhon Wilson's prayer was answered as thereafter he was assigned to go to India, specifically Bombay. He prayed for a suitable helpmeet and he met the lovely Margaret Bates. He writes about Margaret, "With fullest confidence in her capacity and through God's assistance, I invited her to be the sharer of my joys and sorrows of my toil and its reward." John and Margaret got married and the young couple set sail for Bombay on August 30th, 1828. After sailing for months, they reached the Konkan coast on February 14th, 1829 and began a beautiful love story between Dr. Jhon Wilson and the city of Bombay, which would only end one day with his death and burial in the same city. When they landed in Bombay, two passions dominated their life. One was education and the other was sharing the love of God. He was so devoted in trying to understand the language, culture, custom art, and literature of India that within 6 months of reaching India, he shared a message of God's love in Marathi language. Jhon Wilson's life's purpose was educating the people of Western India and bringing them into the knowledge of God's love. He began the Angroli English School, which later developed into the two great institutions, Wilson High School and the Wilson College. Margaret Wilson opened a school for girls, and the boarding school she established blossomed into the St. Columba School. He kept encouraging and enabling students, educators, persuading administrators and parents. He wanted to develop the best minds of Bombay to make this city a global model. Both John and Margaret worked for the upliftment of women. They worked hard to eradicate the practice of sati and female infanticide and were advocates of widow remarriage. Reverend Dr. Jhon Wilson believed that the fear of Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So along with the regular classes, he introduced Bible studies. In his institutions, prayer services was conducted every morning before lectures began. On Sundays, a morning service was held and in the evenings, the staff and the students gathered at the principal's residence and sang hymns together. He was an extremely simple man who only rode in a one-horse carriage and loved a bottle of cold tea. His faith in God and his love for God's word made him wise, prudent, practical, and gentle. He had many friends and visitors in his house, which was always open. He rose to meet the governor of Bombay and also the humblest person on streets with equal warmth. He was extremely hardworking and developed Oriental studies in Western India by collecting and studying original manuscripts, coin inscriptions, and the like. He was passionate for the preservation of Indian historic monuments. He also lobbied to start the Archaeological Survey of India. He also helped James Princeton decipher the Brahmi script on rock inscriptions of the Ashoka at Girnar. His vast work in the field of education, science, social reform, and history still amazes people. He was an archaeologist, anthropologist, antiquarian, and Indologist and worked hard. With all his social contribution, he shared the love of God to people. All who knew him loved him, even those who did not support his views. He was one of the founding fathers of modern Bombay, and along with the Honorable Jagannath Sankar Singh and his good friend Bhaudaji Lal, he founded the Bombay University. He was also the youngest president of the Royal Asiatic Society of Bombay and was elected moderator of the Free Church of Scotland. On his 40th anniversary, Rudyard Kipling's father, along with Dr. David Sassoon and Dr. Bhaudaji Lal, presented Dr. Wilson with a silver salver which is there in our principal's office. Reverend Dr. Jhon Wilson lived in Bombay till his death on 1st December 1875 at 70 years. The whole city of Mumbai mourned his death. The governor, judges, men of every creed and color and tongue and class arrived to pay their last respects. As the hearse was taken from the All Saints Church at Malabar Hill, where he lived across the bay, to the St. Thomas Church, it was followed by the senior most to the least of the city of Bombay. In the words of his good friend Bhaudaji Lal, India has not had a greater or wiser friend and benefactor and a loving representative of the love of Christ than Dr. Jhon Wilson. His words written at the age of 21 fulfilled at last. I rejoice when I think that I shall live and labor and die in India. Margaret Wilson, wife of Dr. Jhon Wilson, who shared his vision to serve India, started St. Columba School with 5 girls. She faced much resistance from the society, but 5 families agreed to send their daughters to get educated. This was in 1832. The first batch of students of this school were 5 girls draped in 9-yard saris with hair tightly secured in buns, all set to step out to surpass old boundaries and pave the way for others to follow their footsteps. Around 20th century, the school was named after Saint Columba, the Scottish saint of Irish origin. Young Margaret Wilson went to be with the Lord in 1835 during the pandemic of plague. Almost after more than a century of their death, their name still continues to be cherished by thousands of students who continue to study in the educational institutions they started with love, labor, and vision.
That's how we come to the end. So girls, are you proud? Yes? And this especially serve